Hi everyone, Katarina here. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I'm going to show you how I made a gorgeous birthday card using some paper strips to create a folding element in a heart shape. And for my card base today, I decided to use the fancy rectangles die set from Chloe's Creative Cards. I really enjoy lately creating my card bases using shaped dies. I think they just add something extra to every single card. Of course, you can use any dies that you may have in your stash. These dies that I haven't used all that much in my crafting at all, and I really want to use it a little bit more. I received this die set as part of my winnings for Cardmaker of the Year competition, and I really love this. So these are called the fancy rectangles, and with the larger one I cut out two of that purplish pinkish cardstock that you can see from the little cardstock range. With the next size down, I cut out one of that tealy cards or paper from the A4 paper pad from Chloe's Creative Cards. And for my pattern papers, I used this gorgeous floral pattern from the Summer Florals paper pad, again from Chloe's Creative Cards. And I chose, I'm going to show you which paper here, this gorgeous one. I thought the colors in this perfectly matched my card base, and I actually chose that tealy one to match some other elements in that lovely paper. And then I find I all had forgotten about this gorgeous sentiment verse for birthdays from Chloe's Creative Cards, which came with lovely corners. But I didn't use the corners today. I only stamped using purple VersaFine ink, just the verse on that white cardstock, which I will be gluing inside of my card. So that's what I'm going to start with now. I'm going to use my collal glue to glue the white cardstock with the verse stamped on it onto the back piece of my card. And I'm using collal glue because I know that this will make it nice and strong. Once it dries, it almost feels like a thin chipboard. Honestly, it's just such a lovely glue. I love the quality feel that it gives to my cards or any other projects at all. So this is the purple VersaFine ink cube that I use to stamp my verse with. Now I'm going to put this in my scoreboard, lining it up nice and square, and at 3/4 of an inch I'm scoring down on the top of my piece of cardstock or the card base in there. Now I'm folding that hinge back, and this is the magic of editing. I did set this aside for a couple of minutes just to dry because the collal glue takes a little while to set. And now I'm going to take my collal glue and I'm going to add it onto that 3/4 of an inch of a hinge that I just created, and I'm making sure it's very well covered, but I don't want it to ooze over below that score line. I'm going to line my card front on that, and this is how my card base will function. This is such a lovely and easy technique to create any shaped cards that you want just by creating that lovely hinge on the back panel. Now for these two, I wanted to add a little bit of a glitter to the edges. So just running my glue pen all around the edges, I'm going to dip them into my crystalline glitter, and I'm going to do this to both pieces of them, the pattern paper and the taily one in here. Now I'm using Chloe's chisel tip glue pen, but any glue pen in here will work. I just have some of these in my stash and I enjoy using this, but do not feel the need to having to have these ones. If you have some other glue pens, they will work just absolutely fine. The glitter I'm using here is the crystalline glitter, which is a translucent glitter, so you will see the colors popping through behind it, but it will add some gorgeous sparkle to them. I really love using crystalline glitter on a lot of my makes, not only edging cardstocks, but just filling out spaces, adding them to my embellishments. It's just a really nice glitter. I layered them on top of each other using collal glue, and now I'm adding foam pads. I want to add a little bit of a dimension to my card, so I popped the whole panel up on foam pads before adding it to my card base. And that card base is such a lovely color. The closest that I could find in my Distress Oxide range was the Seedless Preserves that I think matched it perfectly, and you'll see that I will be using that color on some of my flowers, and it will work just absolutely beautifully. But first, we're gonna have to create our heart floating embellishment. This heart that you can see in here is a heart that I cut out using the Creative Craft Products heart set, just from double-sided sticky sheet. So that piece was not attached to cardstock. This will all make sense in a while. And using the same size of a die, I cut out one of acetate. Now I have some leftover card from the tealy one, and then some of the floral pattern that I used, and you can see another piece in there that I used on a previous card, different paper from the same paper pad, which has the same kind of colors in it. So I took a piece of that and I cut them down to strips. I'm not cutting them to the same size. Some of them are 1/8 of an inch, some of them are 1/4 of an inch, or even a bit wider. I wasn't measuring, I was just cutting them, really eyeballing it. So now you can go and you can glue this down horizontally or vertically or at an angle, like I'm going to do. What I'm doing here is covering every single one of these in double-sided tape. If I had a thought of it before, I could have covered it in double-sided sticky sheet before cutting them down. It would make it a bit easier, but it's not a big deal. I could cover them off camera and glued them at an angle, leaving equal spaces here and there on the heart. And now I just used my anti-static bag just on the edges where there's a glue or the sticky tape overhanging the heart. I just find it easier to cut if it's not so sticky. And I'm cutting around the acetate just with my scissors. This is very easy to do, just following the shape of the heart. How lovely does that look? And to give this piece of embellishment, that floating effect, all I have to do is behind some of those strips, I'm adding double-sided foam tape or foam strips. I don't have to do it behind all of them, but I'm using the widest ones, which I find is easier to do. And I'm just popping them up. It will not show from the front, but it will raise it up enough from the background to make it look like those strips are floating. To create these absolutely stunning flowers, I use this Flower Power stamp and die set from Chloe's Creative Cards in medium and the small size. I cut them from vellum. And I used the stamps to heat emboss on top of that on the vellum using just white wow embossing powder. For the largest one, which one is the medium size, I use seedless preserves on the underside to color them in, which goes so well with that cardstock that I shared earlier on. And then for the smaller ones, I used a shaded lilac, which again picks up some of the colors from that gorgeous paper that I used to decorate my card with. The glitter that I added to this card is the Diamond Tea Sparkle, which might be very well my new favorite. It's such a stunning glitter. I wish my camera picked up how beautiful it is. For the smaller ones, I used the Lilac Frost. Again, these are both from Chloe's Creative Cards. For the foliage, I used 2 different die sets to cut out lots of foliage. And one of them is the swirly foliage, and the other one is from the Beautiful Bouquet collection. I used the tealy cardstock that I used for my backing, and you can see that this is double-sided. One side is lighter and the other one is darker, so I just played about with both sides for a little bit of an interest. Now, my card base is perfectly set. I'm just being very careful to make sure that the hinge is sticking properly, which it is. And now it is time to decorate the front of our lovely card. So first of all, just have to decide where I want to place my heart floating element. First, I wanted to put it towards the right, but then I will realize that my sentiment is just a bit too big to fit it this way. So in here, I'm just playing about where I will be adding all the flowers. So for my sentiment from the birthday sentiment builder, I cut out the word birthday with the white shadow die, and I used the 2 colors of the Distress Oxide inks to add a little bit of ombre effect to it. And I already have this double-sided tape behind it, so it's just very easy to attach it to my shadow die cut in there. And I also stamped out using the same purple VersaFine ink, Have a and Magical, which I will be adding to this. And this is where I'm cutting them down, just using my long blade scissors. And I'm not adding any shadow to these ones. I don't think it needed. There's so much color going on in the card base that I didn't think it needed it. That heart, keep in mind, will not be white. Once I peel everything back, it is just double-sided tape. It will be see-through. And the reason I decided to do this is because, look, if I put my heart on top of that paper, it would be just too busy. This one will tone down the pattern behind the heart, and I'm dipping it into that same crystalline glitter that I used before, peeling back the other side of it, and I'm just gluing this down in around the middle of the card. You can see that pattern still popping through, but it is muted down, so now it does not look as busy when I attach my floating heart element on top. Now, if you don't want to use glitter in there, you can just go ahead and cut that heart out of a piece of vellum. That would work just as brilliantly. I just like that subtle glittery effect that shines through from the base in there. So I'm adding some double-sided foam pads onto the word birthday. And now it is time to start arranging my flowers, and I'm just kind of following the curve of that heart. And I use the 3 larger flowers first, and I'm going to fill out those spaces with the smaller purple ones in there, or lilac-y ones. And again, I'm just following the shape of the heart, the curve of the heart, and I'm attaching all my embellishments to the left side of my heart. Now, if you don't want to use a heart shape in it, you don't have to. You can use a square shape, you can use a rectangle, you can use a circle, any shape that you want. I already have a couple of videos using floating strips like this on my channel, and I will find them and I will link them below in the description box. So if you would like to check those out, I will encourage you to. This is such a lovely technique to use to add some interest into your cards, and this is perfect for using up any scraps that you may have in your stash that you don't want to throw away. So I added some double-sided foam tape behind Have and behind the Magical, and I just arranged them on above the birthday. I'm using white AB pearls. They are white pearls, but with all the different colors shining through them as the light hits it. I think they are beautiful. So I'm adding those first of all in the middle of every single one of those flowers. And now I'm taking the smaller ones. This bag, I bought it on eBay. It has all different sizes from the tiniest to very large ones. And I'm using the smaller sizes in a couple of different sizes to fill out the spaces around that floral arrangement. I love doing this. I think it just adds some extra special texture to it, some more interest around the flowers. I think it's really lovely. I did use this technique before. I think it was like an ocean themed card, like a Hawaiian themed card, and it looked so lovely against the tropical watercolors. I will link that video in the description box below too if you'd like to check that out. Kind of get lost in here, all those pearls on the video, but trust me, in real life they look absolutely brilliant. And just a quick blast with my heat gun to make sure I get rid of any glue strings that might be floating still in there. So this video I've recorded quite a while ago, only came around to editing it down now, and I have some more videos in my phone. I need to free up space in my phone, so I will be editing them down and uploading as quick as I can. I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I will leave you with some close-up pictures of the card and the box as well. I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, please do not forget to give me the thumbs up. Hit the notification bell to make sure you get notified if I upload or when I upload new videos, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. I really appreciate every single like, comment and share. It's been amazing, and I will be back very soon with another lovely video. Until then, bye!